So one of my subscribers recently asked, how much learning time should I incorporate into my day? Because I talk a lot about my system of GWB, right? With this concept of a 3-hour day. The first hour is your growth, which is the G, which is traffic, which is whatever traffic strategy you're going to be doing. Right now, my main traffic focus is YouTube. The W is writing an email, which is like the crux where up to 90% of your sales are going to happen. That's the second hour. And the third hour is B, which is bank, which is the monetization, which is how you're going to make money. And that's creating products and programs and delivering your products and programs and all of the stuff that comes with, like, how do I make money? So, and it was a good question. So he said, there's so much I have to learn. I have to learn how to write sales copy, which is all the words that are going to be on the page. I have to learn how to create a product and like the tech stuff and video editing. He said, how much time should I dedicate to this? And my answer, especially as we're getting older, especially if we're 50s or 60s, is not that much. Like, I'm kind of the opposite of what all of these marketing gurus and motivational people say, where like you've got to really keep learning and studying. And yes, of course, you have to put the time in to learn your stuff and hone your craft and get better. But the reality is the way you get better is by actually doing it. Crazy. When I first started online, I was working at a children's hospital, and I bought a book or two about sales copy. I think the first one I bought was by this guy, Jeffrey Lamp. It was called like Cash Copy, I think it was. And it was just mind blowing. I'm like, oh my God, benefit first feature. Okay, got it. So I read that one book. I think I read it 2 or 3 times. And I remember it was like $40. And at the time, I was making like $12 an hour. That was a lot for me. And I remember I saved up and I asked my parents, I was like 22. I said, can you get for me this $40 book for my birthday? But I read it once or twice. I put it down and I started writing. And you get better by doing. You can read books till you're blue in the face and take courses and keep going and going and going. But at the end of the day, the way you're going to get better is by doing it. Now, I know this isn't like, for some of you, this doesn't sound like, oh my God, wow, what a breakthrough. Oh my God, what brilliant insight, Ryan. But what happens more often than not with a lot of us, not all of us, but with a lot of us, is we go into this never-ending learning mode. And we always feel like there's something else we need to learn and study before we actually take action. So let's say it's sales copy and you want to learn how to write better sales copy. And you say, well, I'm not going to do my page. I'm not going to work on my website at all until I read this next book on sales copy. And then you read it, and maybe the person in the book talks about headlines. You're like, oh my God, I need to really study headlines now. All right, never mind. I'm not going to do my product until I really read this next book about headlines or take this next course. And it's just never ending. And I used to speak at a lot of business and marketing events, and you'd see the same people over and over and over attending and never doing anything. And there's one person I know who's a big motivational guru. I'm not going to say his name. He's a friend of mine. And he said in a social media post, the only people that I really want to hang out with, or the only people doing anything, are the ones that I see at all these events. Every event that I have, they're at every event, and they're the action takers. And I even wrote, I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of them go because they're putting off taking action. This is the stuff that people don't want to talk about, because he gets paid for them to go to his event, to pay $10,000. When they come to the event, they pay $5,000. And he starts off, I'm going to give you the 10 secrets to success, but I only have time for 5. If you want the other 5, that's you got to be in my $25,000 mastermind group. And a lot of people selling this stuff and teaching this stuff are incentivized because they want you to buy their courses. I don't care if you want to buy my programs, don't buy my programs. I'm good. I'm good. It's cool. It's not really going to make that much difference. If you want to buy them, great. But what I want to do is tell you the truth and say, you need to start taking action and start moving forward and stop saying, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait. Start doing it and you get better. You know how you write better email? You start writing more email. And now the rain is coming, so that must mean it's true. So I'm shutting this off. Take action, subscribe, like this, and I'll see you on the next video. Let's rock this.